Shabbat Shalom, my friends. I went for a walk Thursday on the Strand, which is a wonderful concrete trail paralleling the Santa Monica beach, designated both for those who want to move about on skateboards, bicycles, rollerblades, and a myriad of other devices, and for those who might want to race walk or stroll, or just to make their fitness trackers happy. There was new birdsong on Thursday. Sounds that I had not heard for months. I know that much of our country is still suffering from a brutal, murderous series of winter storms. I know that my friends and family in Medinat Israel are going through a very unusual period of heavy rains and of snow. But that birdsong nevertheless served to remind me that despite the ongoing horror of COVID and this nightmarish weather, change is coming. Good change. Welcome change. What will our world be like when the deaths and dislocations of the pandemic will be greatly reduced? What will have permanently changed and what will return to the status quo ante? Acknowledging the catastrophic numbers of deaths, losses that can never be reversed, we still care very deeply about what our new normal will be like. Our Sedra is Terumah from the book of Exodus. So much has changed in the lives of the Israelites. They were slaves, and now they're free. They were trapped between the Red Sea and the onrushing Egyptian army. Now they have traveled on, while the Egyptian army suffered grievous losses. They were brutally attacked by Amalek, but they survived. They reached Mount Sinai, and marvelous things beyond human comprehension occurred with and for them. What would their new normal look like? Constant griping to God? Most definitely. A sense of dislocation that led to the building of the golden calf? Most definitely. A set of tablets on which were written the Ten Commandments, accompanied by what would appear to be an unending revealing of new rules, statutes, and commandments. Again, most definitely. Our Sedra, Terumah, contains one of the most familiar and most confusing of those rules. Va'asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Make for me a sanctuary, God demands, so that I might dwell in their midst, your midst. Interesting. That deceptively simple phrase sounds so welcoming, so stabilizing. God wants to live among us. And our generosity and our labor can make that happen. Aviva Zornberg drills deeply and broadly, psychoanalytically and midrashically into this verse. Her wisdom is both astounding and confounding. I won't even pretend to do full justice to her analysis. She quotes Ramban, who sees in the tabernacle that God is commanding to be built a physical embodiment, a replica of Sinai. The people, having agreed to accept Torah, having embraced covenant and revelation, are now worthy to have God dwell in their midst. This is Ramban's new normal. But Midrash Tanchuma reads things very differently. Though the command to build the Mishkan precedes the account of the golden calf, many rabbis taught that the incident of the golden calf actually preceded the demand for Mishkan to be built. The Mishkan is therefore a reaction to the golden calf. The gold of the Mishkan will serve to atone for the gold of the calf. So what do we learn? A catastrophe demands a powerful reaction. Failure requires a more stable and rewarding structure than the fluidity of a molten calf, no matter how glorious. Instant gratification, a graceless pandering to human weakness, must give way to finding a center that will promote human growth. A highly visible idol will be replaced by the emptiness at the center of the Mishkan, a center that none but the high priests, the Levites, would ever see, a center that is invisible to the people, a center reserved for the outcome of the people's efforts to bring God to dwell in their midst. The stable but hidden presence of God to be brought into the Mishkan and into their lives. God will be encountered outside of the Mishkan. God will be encountered within the Mishkan. God will also be encountered within the human heart. God will always speak out of the emptiness, and thus will transform us. This version of the new normal, arising out of unwelcome, little understood pressures, cannot be guaranteed to last forever. If the new normal works, and it did, it will long hold sway over the people's hearts until the next traumatic challenge arises. The next pandemic, the next economic or societal or political collapse, the next war. The new normal works until it no longer works. Build me a new sanctuary and a new normal will arise. How does that truth speak to us? As the rate of new infection falls, as the rate of deaths moves downward, as schools and businesses reopen, as birdsong is heard anew, and as the planet remembers what a beautiful spring day actually looks like. There is one place, one institution that is of particular concern to many of us, and most certainly to me. A number of synagogues over the past year have had to close their doors. Others found survival and a stable and fruitful future in mergers. There has been a countrywide embrace of Zoom, seminars, and webinars. Some of those Zoominars have drawn large and enthusiastic audiences. Others, not so much. Rabbis report with some pleasure and relief that embracing new technology in a skillful manner and with a heavy focus on excellence has brought unexpected increase in virtual service attendance. Now, will all of that suffice to create an enduring, healthful, transformative new normal? Of course, it's too soon to tell. But I have some concerns. In so many ways, our congregations and federations and community centers and well-endowed day schools and national and competitive denominational bodies and lockstep support for Israel have embodied business as usual for North American Jewry. They supported, facilitated, embodied, promoted our world before catastrophe changed the very nature of the game. If we emerge from this COVID catastrophe with a prayerful Chadesh Yamenu kekedem. God, renew our days as of old. Then we are declaring that we will not be taking advantage of all that we have had to suffer. Our yesterdays will become our communal golden calf. And as we dance around it, we will be unable to hear the calls and demands for new and better ways to build a vibrant, thriving, relevant, diverse, and meaningful Jewish community and Jewish experience for ourselves and for those who will come after us. The Mishkan, the Tabernacle, was not just a building. It embodied a radical, revolutionary way of establishing ties between human beings and their Creator. The golden calf was the default pattern, while the Mishkan was a blueprint for a rich and ennobling future. Birdsong. Reasonable expectations that our international nightmare might be lessening its grip upon us. Our text declares that the new normal has a chance to help us elevate our game, to seek new ideas, new ideologies, new structures, new ways to move our sacred traditions into a flourishing future. That's the challenge that awaits us every morning as birdsong greets us. Well, that's it for today. A lot to think about. I welcome your comments. Shabbat Shalom.